Okay, so welcome to today's video. So over the last few weeks, we've kind of working around bar chords, and what we're going to do today is we're going to do another song today, but it's going to kind of implement what we've been kind of learning over the last few weeks. So the last two class, as far as I can remember, was based around the root. And it was techniques of getting the bar chords. Okay, so we're going to focus on the thing called the root today, more in depth, and we're going to do the song Old Town Road. So the reason why I chose this song was, one, you can do it without doing bar chords, but you have to tune your guitar down half a step. So instead of having to do that every time you pick up a guitar, I'm just going to show you how to do the bar chord version of it. Now maybe next week, as a kind of for the song, we can do the non bar chord, and I can show you how to tune the guitar down into E flat, and then go in and just do it into normal open chords down here, because the open chords are easy to just they're A, C, G, and F. They're the chords. But if you play them, if you play them in a normal standard tuning, you have. You can kind of hear the tune, but it's not low enough for it to be the tune. So we're going to do the bar chord version today. I'm going to do the little kind of an intro wee bit with you, and then we're going into the bar chords. And then next week, so this is kind of be the theory class around kind of the root of the note, and that's where you can play your bar chord. And then next week we might redo the song. We might do a different song. It depends. I'll choose between now and next week. So let's get into the song now. Okay, so the first bit that we're going to do is kind of like a plucking. So we're not going to have a pleck in the hand, and it's really easy. We're just going to use two strings. So the first string that we're going to use, the first finger that we're going to put down, is going to be the root of for the whole song. Okay, so the first one we're going to do is we're going to put our index finger on the sixth string, so the thick E string, on the fourth fret. Okay, and we're going to use our thumb to pluck this. Okay, and then our ring finger or our baby finger, depending on which one you feel is more comfortable, is going to go on the G string of the third string, okay, or the G string, okay, and you're going to use your index finger of your plucking hand to hit it. So not your middle and not your ring, but your index, okay, and you're just going to pluck that twice. So you're going to pluck both strings at the same time, okay. You're going to do that twice, okay, and the root that I have here is a G sharp, okay. So our G is here and our G sharp is here, okay, and then we have kind of just our ring finger on the. I'm afraid the shine is going to stop us. So the ring finger on the fifth string of the G string, okay. So we have. You're going to pluck that twice, like so. Then what we're going to do is we're going to slide the same shape. So this is what's easy about this song. The same shape all the way up to the 7th fret, okay, and it's the same two strings, okay. You're plucking it twice, so we have the 4th and 5th fret, so 4th and 5th fret, 7th and 8th, 7th, 8th, okay, nice and easy. Then we're going to slide all the way back down to 2, okay, so we're going to put our index finger on the 6th string of the 2nd fret, and our ring finger is going to go on the G string of the 3rd fret. Okay, and again you're plucking those same two strings. So we have 4th and 5th, 7th and 8th, 2nd and 3rd. Okay, and then the final thing that we're going to do is we're going to take our ring finger off, and we're just going to play the E string, but we're going to slide our ring finger or pinky, whatever you're using, from the 3rd fret down to the 1st fret, and we're going to pluck again the same two strings, but this time it's the low E and the G string here. Okay, so to go over that again, we have the 4th and the 5th fret, 7th and 8th, 2nd and 3rd, and then open and 1st. Okay, open means there's no finger on the E string here. Okay, so that's the intro. So it sounds like this. Nice and simple. Okay, and the important thing to note is it's the same shape all the way through that. Okay, and it's going to be the same through this song for the bar chords as well. Okay, just take note of the root. So we have the G sharp that moves all the way up to the B, that moves all the way down to an F sharp, and then it goes into an E. Okay, and they are the chords that we're going to use for the bar chords. Okay, so for the bar chords, so I don't know if I explained this the last time, but most of the bar chords are quite simple in that they kind of come just from this kind of shape. Alright, so we have the E shape, the E major shape. So we have our our middle finger on the G string of the 1st fret. Our ring finger is on the A string of the 2nd fret, and our baby finger or pinky is on the D string of the 2nd fret. Okay, and we have that E major shape. We usually play an E major shape like this with our index finger. Okay, but this time we're just for the sake of this lesson, we're gonna play it with that shape. Okay, so this is an E major. Now, if I wanted to play the E major, I have to think of the start of the guitar as the bar. Okay, so this is the E. Okay, I play the F. Okay, and that's just sliding the E major up to the 2nd fret and then barring the 1st fret. Okay, so that's the concept that we're kind of going off today. Okay, so it's that shape, it's the E major shape, with the middle finger on the G string, the index finger, or the ring finger, sorry, on the A string 2nd fret, and the pinky on the D string 3rd fret. So the first chord, so if you can remember back to the intro, the root was on the 4th fret. Okay, which means our bar is going to be on the 4th fret. So to do that, we're going to move our E major shape up to the 5th fret. So our middle finger is on the 5th fret of the G string, pinky is on the 6th fret of the D string, and the ring finger is on the A string of the 6th fret. And then we're just going to bar the 4th. Okay, so don't forget the technique as well. Pull the guitar back with your strumming hand, so you're pulling the neck into this hand, and make sure and curl, so you're not trying to keep a flat finger, but you're kind of curling the bone on it, okay, onto the string, and try to stay near to this bar but not on it. Okay, so if you're on it, you get that, but if you're near it, you get the perfect sound. Okay, so we have this chord is the G sharp. Okay, so our G sharp. Okay, so that's the first one. So we have. Okay, so similar to the intro when we just had these two strings. Okay, so we have our middle finger on that string. Okay, and instead of just leaving it there, we're covering the A and the D string as well. Okay, so our middle finger is still on the string. Okay, as if we're playing that intro, except we're just adding that E shape and then barring. Okay. Now we're going to move this exact shape up to the 7th fret. So again, it's like that intro when you had the G and the E, except we're barring the 7th and we're adding that E shape. So we're going to go from the 4th fret to the 7th. Okay, and again, the technique of pulling the guitar in with this hand and pulling the neck. So it's kind of doing this shape. Okay, so it's doing that movement. You're pulling the guitar neck into your hand. Okay, so we have G sharp to a B, all the way down then to the second fret. So if you remember back to that intro, the second fret of the second bit, or this bit was the root was on the second fret. Okay, so that F sharp, and again we're keeping that E shape, the E major shape, and we're just barring the second. Okay, so we have the 4th fret, 7th, 2nd. Okay, so when I say 4th, 7th, and 2nd, that means you're barring the 4th and keeping the E on the 5th and 6th. You're barring the 7th, E shape on the 8th and 9th, and barring the 2nd, and you're keeping the E shape on the 3rd and 4th. Okay? And the final shape is just back to our E major. So the guitar itself, so see this white thing here? That is our bar for this one. Okay? So all we have to do is just play an E major. Okay? So just to go through that again, we have the G sharp to the B to the F sharp, and then an E major. Okay? I made a mistake there. I went to an F. Okay, so we have 4th fret, 7th to the 2nd, E major. 4th, 7th, 2nd, E major. Okay, and that's played all the way through the song. Okay, the strumming that I use for this is just down, 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 up. Okay, so we have down, down, and then as I change, I kind of put my hand over this and I just go. Okay, so you're not really getting the sound, so it's just, so it's. Okay, so down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up. Okay, so just to go through that again, I'll try to put the strumming hand in. It's very hard to watch the screen and play guitar at the same time. So just remember that the most important thing is, if you rewind this video, the most important thing is just to remember that root. Okay, so the root, we have the G sharp, the B, F sharp, and open E. Okay, so if you just, even if you just play the bass line of it, we have. Okay, so I thought this would be a good lesson to do. One, because we're doing a song, so we're doing a second song for a second week in a row, and I think at this stage now, to kind of progress a little bit more, we need to start kind of playing a little bit, a few more songs, I suppose, so that you start actually hearing it. So you can listen to me bang on about the guitar theory as much as you want. But I suppose what the main idea of this, the whole guitar sessions, is to be able to play guitar and play songs. So I thought, one, this is quite still very much a relevant song to be able to play. It was probably one of the most popular songs. I began to hate it last summer, because everybody was playing it. But I thought it was interesting to be able to pinpoint the roots. So the fact that we did that intro of on the E string and the G string, and the E string was the root of the chord, and you could see that in that the note was the root of the chords. We had the G sharp, the B, the F sharp, and then the open E. and all of them played a role in the actual chord as well. So you were barring those chords, you're barring those frets. So you're barring the fourth, the seventh, the second, and leaving the E open for the final chord. Well, leaving it open in terms of the guitar was doing the barring for us. So it's good to understand that concept. It's good to understand that to have a chord, it needs to have a root, and the chord is made up of various notes, and one of the notes is always the root. So it's good to kind of start to wrap our heads a little bit around this. Next week we'll do a song. I think for the next few weeks for this Tuesday class, we're going to do some songs, just to kind of bring up I suppose the sheets of songs that we have, so that our stash of songs, so that whenever you go to a party or whenever somebody has a guitar in the house, you can just pick it up and you can play it. And we'll try to keep things as simple as they can and try to implement the likes of the bar chords as well with them. So I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. I hope it kind of makes kind of the bar chords a little bit easier to understand. And I will see you next week for another song.